Well, we've definitely needed the power, hopefully. Hopefully this will be enough power for the train here. What's up, guys? Shadow Steel here. Welcome back to another episode of Railroads Online. So I've got all the cars that need to be picked up. We're actually going to be doing a little bit more than what we were planning, which was originally we were just going to take the pulpwood cars over there, but we're going to take these guys too to the dredger. Hopefully they'll have enough room with the dredger to actually unload at least the pipes, if not a handful of the box cars. But everything else is going to the cattle farm. We're going to go drop off some cars to the smelter. So we're going to be pretty busy with this train. And hopefully this train has enough huevos and enough power to get up the short grade up to the smelter. I don't know if it will, because we got a lot of cordwood here. If it doesn't have enough power, we can actually get a couple locomotives from here to help out. So I don't think we'll need the power, but who knows. We weren't having too much issue with the locomotive climbing the grade out of here, or at least out of the yard. So let's go. Off we go. Oh dear God, the frame rate. Sometimes it has issues here. Alright, off we go. Alright. So, last couple of videos have been interesting, to say the least. Railroads on my Railwork Sundays, and then the Railroader video have also come out since this video has been released, or since this video is being recorded. When I was looking through the actual editing, so when I record using OBS, Open Broadcast Software Studio, and it just so happens that it puts the date on the video of when it was recorded. I didn't realize that the Railroader video that I had recorded and released recently was recorded on May 1st. So that's how old a lot of these videos are going to be for a little bit. A lot of the older videos anyway that are being published. So Derail Valley and the Railroader in particular are going to be the older ones. But yeah, this is going to be the more recent of the two. Now, let's see if we can get up this hill here. Going to be going 100 on this one. Full-on Railroads Online here. But yeah, I have a few older videos. I think I have another one for Derail Valley ready to go, or that needs to be edited, but I never got around to editing it on time. Well, actually, I had more issues uploading the Railroader videos, which is why it was posted on Wednesday rather than being posted on I forgot about the switch. Rather than it being posted on Tuesday like I usually do it. So, all right, here we go. Now, I'm going to take a look at the tracks back here, make sure we don't run off the end of the track here. With how much weight we have behind us, it might be a good idea to drop off the farm supplies first. The stuff at the cattle farm. I'm not sure if it will do any good, but we'll see. Alright. Well, that going. He's moving along at a good clip. Now, what I'm going to have to do... Yeah, that would probably be the best way to do it. Yeah. Alright. We're good. Why not switch back there? And if push comes to shove, well, quite literally, we'll get a locomotive to shove the train up the hill. So, here we go. Going up. The Railroader video, when I edited that, it was actually quite interesting because I actually did not do the 60 frames per second thing. Normally, when I upload videos, I edit them to be 60 frames per second, rather than being 30 frames per second. But because the frame rate has been so bad with Railroader, I have actually kind of like stopped doing the 60 frames per second idea. Mainly because it just was like, okay, this is ridiculous. I am trying to up-res the frame rate of a game that is stuttering like crazy. So, that's kind of the thing there. Oh god, that's a big jump. Hopefully this doesn't cause us to derail too much. I don't think it should. We're pretty smooth around here. Alright, here we go. Looks like we did okay. Alright, here's the hill here. There's a hill right here as we climb up the hill. I said that 3 times at this point. Alright, we're slowing down. We need to get some speed up. Let's see if we can make it up the hill. Wait, why am I doing this? I was going to try and grab a thumbnail, but it's probably not a good idea when I'm climbing this grade and then immediately going to be hitting a slow downhill. Well, maybe. I don't know. Kind of slowing here. Who knows? Can't you make it? Ring the bell. Get it up. Get that 10% up boost. I had a feeling, to some extent, that this locomotive was not going to be a powerful enough locomotive to get the train up. I wasn't entirely sure. I thought that it could. But, like, there's also the chance that a Class 125 was not going to be enough power to pull this whole thing up, so. Though we are nearing the top of the grade. That's the good thing. That's one thing that I'm noticing here. We're nearing the top already. So if we had enough speed, we probably would have topped it up pretty easily here. Yeah, we've made it. Okay, good. I think the bell might have helped us out a bit. Which is kind of funny to think about. Like, that's one of those little... I don't know if it's a glitch or something, but it's supposedly, like, if you ring the bell, you get a 10% boost in your tractive effort. Which, again, doesn't make any sense, but, you know. I think the sand does nothing, but the bell does something, which is kind of backwards, honestly. But not a big deal. Alright, here we come. Coming up to the cattle farm here. Little whistle here. Where's my mouse cursor? There it is. Three blasts on the whistle, signifying that we're coming to a stop here. The way I've set up this track here is kind of interesting. So there's no way to get around from this angle to the cattle over there. But on the other side, there actually is a Y. Like, I think the Y does allow it to kind of link in that way. Gotta give you a turnaround over there. But normally you're just going over here anyway to drop off the cattle. Or pick up the cattle here. And then we got this sharp-ass fucking curve here. To really kind of, like, scream. Like, you can probably hear the tires squealing if you were to actually pick this up at speed here. Alright. And we need to drop off the water cars first. Actually, kind of everything else at once. Okay. Easy does it there. We want to make sure that we don't get this train bunched up to the point where it derails itself, but who knows. If Kenosha is playing, well, we know the result. All right, it's going downhill here. Give a little bit of brakes here so we don't fly down the hill. And there's some hay bales that need to be dropped off by the looks of it, so hay bales are first, huh? Easy does it. Easy. I need to put the train in reverse so we can actually slow down a little bit easier here. A little bit more. A little bit more. Okay, it's bunching up here. Good. Brakes on full. There we go. Does that do it? Do we stop on the spot? Not for that car anyway. Okay. See what happens here if I release the brakes. We're just rolling forward. Got it. Fair enough. I'll have to go back around anyway. Alright. Okay. Alright. Stop there. So we just barely have enough waivos to keep the train still with full reverse and full brake. But aside from that, we're not going to do much good. Jesus Christ. Alright, we'll drop this off here. Alright. Where's the brakes? Get the next car here. We'll just have to run around the train anyway. Or actually, we could just drop off that last car at the farm up north, up in the town there. There we go. Another one dropping off here. And we'll need to make sure we pay attention to these cars because this is going to be tricky. 84, eh? I didn't even notice how much water we dropped off already. Yeah, the reason we're not stopping here, like keeping it still here with the brakes on and everything, is because there's a 3% grade right before this part of the farm. So, kind of like screwed up here. Oh, let's see the... So we're pretty full there in terms of our fuel, or water there. I'm gonna release the brakes and we're gonna drag some of these cars out. Because we now need to drop off the... We're gonna skip that one car and we're gonna drop off this. See if we can do this right. Let's see. Yes, right there. We're gonna stop this car first. And right there. Drop it off. Boop. Alright. One thing I want to point out to a lot of people, there was actually a few questions about this, in terms of like, how are you unloading cars, just like, how are you unloading cars while in this view, or switching between cars? I want to point out, like, first of all, these have been features that were introduced in 1.0, so a long time ago at this point. But these are, but the thing was, okay, we can drop off this one too. Nice. But it's just the arrow keys, the up and down arrow keys, and the enter key, at least for me, to actively switch between the cars and unload them. So, all right, so that's done. Pull the train forward just a bit more and we'll unload the rest of it. Alright. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. I didn't want the locomotive. There you go. Drop that off there. Alright. I hear the cows. It's a cow farm. Alright, one more car, and we're done with this particular cargo here. So you're... That's one thing I keep forgetting, is that the arrow keys, depending on where you're positioned, the arrow keys are kind of goofy, so... Alright, that should be everything here, aside from the 2 water cars. But we'll run around and actually, we can actually run around and drop them off later. Or drop them off at a different location here. Whoop! Okay, the train is a lot lighter than it was before, so that's good. Now, let's go back to the front end of the train. There we go. Alright, bell off. I forgot the bell was on the entire time. Yeah, you can see right here, the track split a little bit here. So, that's kind of the thing there. Alright, now with that all unloaded, we are going to go run around and... That might be... Oh, no. We can do that. We can do that. We'll just run around again through the farm. That actually works. That actually works in our favor, actually. Now think about it. Because what we're going to try and do is unload everything. And I would need to go... We would need to go to the dredger over here to do that. So, anyway. Alright. So, we have to switch that one like so. That's one ready to go. And then we're going to do this. We're going to switch that there. Keep that switch line like so. Keep that switch line like so. And we should be good here. Now, I think pulpwood is on this track, so we need to make sure that one's set up correctly. So, all right. Release the brakes, release the throttle. We don't need that on. Just need to maintain speed as we get down the hill. So everything's unloaded here, so that's good. Yeah, you can see, like, right as I release the brakes and everything, like, we are flying down the hill. So I'm gonna put a little bit of brakes on to keep the train from flying. But yeah, this is a 3% grade right here, which is not ideal, but this was never really meant for a long, heavy train to go down. Oh, dear God. You can see the car just bunched up there. What the hell? I didn't even notice that the switch was, the Y was right there, so that was close. And no Kenosha so far. You know, I'll eat my words in a second here, but... One thing I will point out is that the way I've set up the cordwood, or the pulpwood rather, the pulpwood for the industry, the smelter over here is not exactly ideal, so... But it was something I kind of wanted to mess around with, so it's kind of fun. Alright, we're down off the hill there, the 3%. So we're going to run around, see what we can do here. Alright, let me take a look at what we did with the cattle farm here. How many cows we got? Quite a bit. Got full on one thing and another one is not entirely full. We need more grain, interestingly enough. That is the one thing we need to do. Alright. Power! Alright. Doing okay here. Just ease it up the hill here. We're not as heavy as we were before, but we're still pretty heavy. I'm a little surprised this guy was able to handle that train so well. Might be able to take a screenshot though later when I get the chance, so. One of the plans I was doing for this area was actually building a huge town right in the middle of this Y, but might do that. I don't know if I'll do that. I might, I don't know. Yeah, one locomotive here. Could do with a station, like a shed or something over here to kind of help with smaller locomotives. Which is how much we're going to be doing switching wise on the main here. It probably would be best. Alright. Alright. We're dropping off this cargo. And then once we get this dropped off, we'll need to go to the dredger, drop off the pipes, and I think the only other thing we would need to do is actually drop off tools. But because there's not a lot of coal at the dredger, we might not be able to drop off all of it. So what I'll probably do is I'll take the rest of the tools back to the ironworks and get them reloaded there so that we can possibly get some more equipment done. Some more tools and whatnot are filled up and whatnot. Alright, here we come. So you have to go around this bridge here, this little... essentially, it's a bit too tall for an embankment, so... Alright, here we come. So, let's see, where was the iron set up? I don't remember. It's been a while since I've been here. Which is kind of silly because the iron smelter is kind of the big industry at the end of the day for almost everything on the map. Like everything on the map essentially takes some form of material from the smelter, which is kind of crazy to think about. Because the gold mine needs stuff from the smelter. The ironworks need stuff from the smelter. Coal mines need stuff from the smelter. Which are the three big final industries, honestly. Okay, so this is just an end track here. Oh, I see how I did this. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, I was curious on like how I set this up. All right, we're gonna need to set the switches here. So cordwood's over there, which means we need to run around our train. Or, there'd be no way we can Dutch drop it, but it would be nice. Let's see here. Can we get... I think we can get 3 cars in this pocket here. I might need to expand this, though, to allow the train to run around and everything. So, let's give it a shot. What we're going to do, we're going to unhook about 3 of these cars here. We're going to tie down the brakes on the rear cut of car, or the front cut of cars here. The box cars. So you're empty, so I don't want you to do that. Actually, I'll just tie down all the brakes on the box cars. It's fine. It's fine. Key phrase there. Ah! I fell. Ah! What the hell? Okay. Alright, all brakes are... Nope, never mind. There we go. Tied the brakes. There we go. We'll leave those cars untied, but we won't tie... It's just... We're gonna be... 3 cars right here. Got it. Alright. This is one of the other reasons why I think we need a smaller locomotive to handle the switching out here. Probably should just build a yard out here. What the hell? Why are you backing up? The hell? Rolling backwards a little bit. Oh, it was bunched. Was it bunched up? I don't know. All right, release the brakes. Let's go. All right, 3 cars. And then, whoops. No. That's right. Because we're gonna bounce. We're gonna go into the back end there, and then we're gonna run around the train. It's very hard to Dutch drop when you're doing single player, honestly. That's the one key there. All right, line up switch, line up switch. All right, brakes on. And then we reverse. Where's the handbrake on the 3rd car there? We might actually be able to do this if we do it right. Okay, the handbrake's right in front of the locomotive, so that's perfect. The question is, can I get it on there? Would it be able to do that? I don't know. We'll give it a shot. It's fine. We have to get it all the way to the end of the track there before we do anything, so... I want to see if I can pull this off. So if I have handbrakes tied, if I got a handbrake slightly tied on the front car, it should give us enough time to pull the train off. So give it a little bit, like about 10% there. That should probably be enough for us to do this. And we're gonna have to do this first part. We're gonna have to do this from the cab. So release the brakes there. And we'll send it. We'll get about 50% on the throttle there. Release the brakes. There you go. Handbrake off. There we go. And now I gotta catch up my locomotive here. Alright, brakes off. There we go. That worked perfectly. Or, no it did not. Huh? Oh, the fucking train was on the switch. Okay. Well, we'll try this again. Alright. 20. We'll try this again. There might be a way to do this without having the train to be on the, like, doing this. Okay, come on. Get on the cab. This might work. Okay. Try this again. With feeling. Bonk. Okay. Make sure we don't run into the buffers at high speed here. Alright. Shit. Alright, stop. Bonk. Alright, we're good. We should have enough time to do this. About 50% on the throttle. Brakes off. Should do it. Get up to speed here. Here's the brakes. Got it. Yeah, I don't care about the tender. And the tender... Yeah, that's fine. There we go. That shouldn't have derailed. Oh, there it goes. Semi-successful. Oh, no, it's not. I forgot the handbrake was applied. Alright. This is when you want Shift R. That did not go as planned. Alright. Derail. And we at least had some Kenosha. This is, I'm forgetting things here. Alright, back it up. No, no. The way the key bindings are set up is very annoying. Gotta realign that switch. We've got to set the handbrake again. We'll go 10 because that had enough huevos to get moving there. Just 10, but we didn't have enough. Okay, got it. Alright. Alright, get in the cab. Attempt number 3, is it? Yeah, attempt number 3. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do it. I should put like an attempt counter on Dutch-Droppin here right now on this particular part of the video here. I mean, the easiest option would be just to run it around the train as we put it in there, but nah. What's the fun of that? Bonk. And then, once we get in position here again, we'll try this one more time. Alright, there we go. Right there. And there we go. Not 60. We only need a little bit of throttle, not by much. Oh, well, now the car is just drifting. Alright, there we go. Well, at least that one got off. Alright, Kenosha number 2. At least it somewhat worked. It's never gonna be perfect. Trying to do this right is not exactly ideal. We've at least got one card dropped off here, so that's the good thing. Alright, well, let's get this rerailed here. That was unfortunate, but whatever. I get 2 Kenoshas in one go here. Why not? Okay, there we go. Unload. Use the handbrake so we don't have it, like, actually bump into it too hard. There we go. Well, it's slowing down. Well, you're out of the way, at least. That's one good thing. Alright, so we got that unloaded. Now let's get the train backed up and get around. What the hell is going on? Alright, back it up. So, first the tender, now the flat cars. Okay. Now, it might be easier, now that I think about it, it might be easier to Dutch drop them the other way. Like on the main line, because we might have a little bit more of a run up to get off the switch. Okay. Alright. A couple of Kenosha's right there. So the last three attempts, so the three attempts to ended up in Kenosha's. Or, well, one attempt didn't end, the first attempt didn't result in any madness, and then the last two ended up with, like, some sort of derailment, which is brilliant. Alright. Clink. Ah! What the hell? Why did it stop me on a dime there? That's weird. There's no brake side on these cars here, so. Clunk. Alright, there we go. Drop it off. I'll drop this off too. Oh boy. Alright. Well, that's done. Now we need to back it up. I could do that. Let's try this again. Have you ever heard the definition of insanity? If this ends in Kenosha, I will be proud. It didn't end in anything. The hell? That's hilarious. I was expecting a Kenosha with that, but no, it didn't. It just, I slammed it into the back of the cars, and it's just like, okay, you're fine. Alright. I'll undo the brakes here so I can kind of roll away. There we go. So that Dutch drop went down perfectly. No trouble at all. Let's try this again. Okay, line of switches there. He's out of the way. And then next up is this one. This one's going to be tricky because the handbrake's on this side, so. Let's do 10 like we did. And then let's see, 1, 2, 3. Okay, alright. Alright, coupler's undone. I click it like 50 times just to make sure the coupler's unhooked. Alright, off we go. Okay. And then off we go. Not that fast. We only need a little bit of throttle with this moving. Once we get out this switch. Alright, go. Oh god. Slow down instantly. Where's the brakes? There you go. Whoa! There we go. Brakes on. Jesus Christ, just slammed the locomotive on the brakes here. There we go. Did that not have enough waves? No, it stopped. It stopped? How did you stop? Weird. Weird. Weird, weird, weird. Let me try this again. Like I said, have you ever heard the definition of insanity? Again, the easiest way for me to do this would be to just run around the train and just hook into it that way. But again, no fun. Okay, we'll back up as far as we can. And then once we get in position, we should be able to, and bonk. Wow, that just stops you, like, immediately. Alright. Alright, there should do it. Stop. And hear the tire squealing effect from Thomas. And then open the throttle. Should do this. Should do it. Alright, we're past the switch. Good it. Good it. Go, 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 go. Looks like I didn't even need to put the handbrakes on anyway. Now, if I can actually get the train to stop. There you go. Oh, oh, why did I do that? That's not the right view. Okay, good. Woo! Alright. Okay, that worked out a little bit better. No derailments this time, too. Alright, well, that worked out. Alright, time to link the switch there. And if it does stop before it actually gets in the unloading position, we'll be fine. But I don't think we should have a problem. Yeah, it has enough speed there, so that's good. I wonder if there's a hill here. It seems like it. Yeah, we're over the pit. There you go. Drop it off. There you go. Drop that off. Alright. So we finally got that going. It's about 2 loads of that. Oh my god, it just sucked it up. Yeesh. Drop that off as well. Alright. That's done. How much raw iron do we have right now? Oh, we have a lot. Holy crap. What were we missing? Oh, we were missing rails. Okay. I kind of figured that was what we were running out of, honestly. Alright, so that's done. Now, let's see here. We need to get this. It's not going to have a lot of room there. How many cars do we have left on load? Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? 5? Wait, an odd number of cars here then. What the hell? I probably should have gotten another car then. Not a cordwood car. Alright, back in the cab we go. Whee! Do more Dutch-Dropping. How long have I been recording at this point? Been recording for 38 minutes. Not bad. I should probably put this in windowed mode so it doesn't do that flicker thing every time I switch over. Alright. We'll try the... Considering the weight, it might not be a problem to do that. Alright. There we go. And then we go over here. Flip that switch, if we can do it. Come on, there we go. Alright. And we line the, set the reverser forward. Or cut off. It's a cut off, not a reverser, but who knows. Alright. And then we'll just keep moving a little bit. In theory, this should be pretty easy to do. Alright. Clunk. There we go. Bounce back a little bit too. Nice. Alright. So now we need a little bit of throttle. Probably about 18 on it. No, not full brakes. I want the other way around. Alright, uncouple. Good. Okay. There we go. Okay, that's perfect. You don't even need a lot of speed here. You just need to be just quick enough to actually get it running around. Alright. Oh, it's not even on the... Wait, is it rolling backwards? What the hell? Oh, it's rolling... Oh, shit. No, it's not rolling. It's not rolling. I thought it was. On that switch there, buddy. And then if he's off this switch, we should be fine. Alright. Alright. So he's not going to be fully out of the way onto the other track, but that's fine. We just need to get it clear enough out of the way so we can do another Dutch drop. And 3 Dutch drops in a row. Let's see if it works. Yeah, he's not going to pull far enough back to do that, so... We didn't have enough speed. Oh. At least with the last cut of cars, we should be fine. Alright, let's get this guy undone here. I can get in the... There we go. A couple are undone. Alright. Go up in the cab here. Thank you. Pull the reverser forward. Get moving here. About 30 should do it. Is there a handbrake on this side? No, there is not. So we need to be careful with this. Alright, we should have enough speed. Ah, fuck! Well, that didn't work. Ah, what the hell? Why am I falling off? What is going on? Well, that was a failure. Get up! Oh, you son of a bitch. Stop running away. Why is the keyboard not working? Brakes on. There we go. Yeah, that did not work. Go. Get it up. Bonk. Well, that worked fine. I don't know why I kept falling through the train. Oh, weird. Alright. That should do it. Let's get in position here. We'll reposition ourselves to get into where we need to go. Alright, that should do it. Alright. Is that far enough away? Yeah, it's far enough away. Got it. 32 should do it. There. Do I have a handbrake tied on this car? Maybe not. What the? What in the hell? Hello. I am Railroad. John Railroadson. What in the hell? I've never seen that glitch before. Oh, it's because when I got into the cab, I got like, okay, that's hilarious. Did he make it? Not quite. Well, this is a problem. I just kind of screwed myself over. Maybe? I don't know. If we can get it, it's not going to work. Because there's no... If it doesn't move off that switch, we're screwed. I could punt it off. We could just do a purposeful Kenosha to get it out of the way. Yeah, it just stops there. Is there a grade there? There's no way there's a grade there. I gotta check this. Is there a grade here? No, there's no grade. It's just the thing's weird. Okay. Oh. How do you get out of this again? Oh, okay. We get rid of that little guy. Get out of here. Okay, well, that's a problem. What we're gonna have to do? We're gonna have to do with 5-0 switching here. Can't do anything with this thing in the way here, so we'll just have to set him off over here. Bonk. Alright, drop it off. Alright, back it up. Not exactly ideal. Are we out of coal in the firebox? We are. So we have no fire. I have not been shoving coal in the fire. Okay. There we go. We got a full thing of coal in there. Hopefully I have enough room to get out of the way. Or get in that little block there. Let's see. Nah, we're fine. Alright. Stop. Stop there. The dynamo kind of slowing down because we don't have enough steam pressure, apparently. Got it. Alright. Unswitch perfectly. Shove it into place. Come on. Wait. There's a handbrake tied on one of those cars. There's got to be. It never, like, get off them. You have no handbrakes tied. You have no handbrake. Then why is it slowing down so significantly? That's so weird. Oh, weird. Whatever. Oh, interesting. And LinkedIn, there you go. Drop this off. Drop that off. Alright, we're good. Now, I think the best... This is going to be the last Dutch drop of this whole thing, so... Little bit of throttle so we can get moving here. Oh yeah, there's a handbrake tied on the front car there. That's right. Alright. We did it. Yeah. Clunk. Alright, we're good. Alright. This is kind of like this. Dutch dropping this cut of cards is not going to be necessary because we can just like drop them off naturally. So that should be fine. Alright, let's go get it. Last bit of cards. Last bit of cordwood. Yeah. Okay. That is if it got out of the way of the switch. We might have screwed ourselves there. Damn it. I see what the problem is here. We're gonna have to stop there for a second. Do we have a handbrake out on these cars? Probably not, right? Oh, get up. Ah, I'm stuck. Yeah, we're blocking the switch here. Just barely, though. We're on the frog. So what we're going to do, we're going to move this guy over here. Get him out of the way. Plunk. There we go. Okay. And that should give us enough room to drop off these 2 cars, and we should be done. At least with this particular job. Come on. And we should have enough room for the locomotive and tender just to be on there, so we should be good. The question for me is actually getting all the cars out of there, honestly, because we just shoved a whole bunch of them in the pocket with no way to get them out if we didn't. Well, we can cut them out one by one. Yeah, we're braking. Okay. Do we have enough room? Oh, we barely have enough room. We're fine. Alright, we're good. Right there. Drop that one off and you're good. Yeah, that drops off fine. Perfect. Alright. Now, with that done, let's reconnect all of our trains, or all of our cars that we, like, did a mess with, honestly. Just messed up here with, and we should be good. Great. This was fun. Gotta admit, that was probably one of the more just funnier episodes, I guess you could say, with this one. So, 2 Kenoshas. Trying to Dutch drop a couple of some cars. So that was interesting. And just into that one. Good job. Got that one there. And we cut a couple into this cut of cars. There we go. Get it all the way to the buffer there. Bonk. Alright, so we barely have enough room to pick up everything. What we're going to have to do this correctly, we need to get, I think it's, yeah, this car needs to be taken off. So we're going to cut uncouple here. We have 1, 2, 3, is it? Yeah, 3 cuts of cars right here. So what we're going to do, we're gonna undo that. We're gonna release the brakes. We're gonna run around. We're gonna run out, and we're gonna pull the train forward and ring the bell. Apparently, yeah, this should be easy enough to do. We just run around onto the unloading track, pull back out onto the main, and then realign our switch. So that should do it. And then once that is unloaded, once we get everything rehooked, so realign that switch there, realign that switch. Actually, no. You do that so we don't run off in kind of trap ourselves there, so we should be good that way. No, not that way. Alright, we'll back up. I didn't know this is with 9 cars, honestly. That was a weird thing about this. I thought there was a total of 10 at least, but no. Yeah, there would have been no way for us to hook into that train like that. Okay, got it. Alright. And then pull the brake there. And then what we're going to do... Why not switch back there? Use the brakes. Put the reverser in forwards. And we should be good there. And it looks like... How long have I been recording for? About 56 minutes. Okay, not too bad. And then we'll stop here. And then we get to the map here. Reline that switch. Use the brakes. And a little bit of Dutch-Dropping. This was actually kind of fun, honestly, in terms of just trying to get things organized here in the proper cars here. So that's not too bad, honestly. And keep moving just a little bit farther. I can't talk. And then hitch in. Oh, Jesus! That could have ended badly. I'm surprised nothing derailed there. I saw the bounce, but yeah, no, nothing derailed. Alright, so that's that. Now we've got a handful of cars left for the dredger, and that's it. So we could go back to the ironworks, drop off these cars, these cordwood cars, and then come back and grab the remaining cars for the what's it? The dredger. But there's the fun of that. We want a big train. Big train, big wow. Alright, back it up. Alright. Yeah, figure out like how we're doing on time here. Well, it's about 2 in the afternoon here. Not too bad. Whap. Alright. Make sure we're gonna hook into this correctly. Alright. It might be tricky to get the whole train to go down that 3% with this cut of cars, because we got flat cars at the front end, and then we've got loaded cars in the middle. Clink. Now that I think about it, that might be a recipe for disaster. Yeah, that actually might be a recipe for disaster. That is definitely a recipe for streamlining your entire cut of cars. Yeah, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this all back to the ironworks, and we're going to unload, we're going to drop off a handful of cars. So, yeah, that should do it. We did do a lot of, actually getting these cars loaded and unloaded and whatnot, so that's good. So, like and comment down below, subscribe if you guys want more, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.